welcome to the NewsX Sunday Guardian Roundtable. Well, the exit polls are out, and it does seem as if the BJP is getting not just a sweep, but a very comprehensive win. People had been predicting a third term for Narendra Modi, but at these numbers, he's not only held his own, but he's also increased the tally. For a third term, that is the stuff of history books. What is the state of the opposition? How has the campaign been fought, and how seriously do we take these exit polls? Are they just pointing out a trend, or are these numbers going to hold? That's something I'm going to be discussing with my panel today. Joining me is psephologist and founder chairman of Sea Voter, Yashwant Deshmukh, Pavan Varma, former Rajya Sabha MP and political columnist, Suhel Seth, political columnist and writer, and Rasheed Kidwai, he's a senior political journalist and author. Yashwant, you're really what we say the man of the moment. You didn't give us a hint as to what is happening, and now these numbers.
No, that's wrong. That's wrong, Priya. I would take that. I gave ample hint and said I have always mentioned that going about the turnout and all that, and honestly speaking, is this coming as a surprise? Because I see that as a continuation of all our trackers and all our opinion polls. तो कल बहुत सारे लोगों ने बोला कि यार ये पिक्चर देखी हुई सी लग रही है. हमने कहा देखी हुई इसलिए लग रही है क्योंकि पिछले एक साल से हम लगातार उसको दिखा रहे हैं और बोल रहे हैं. We are tracking down and we are like hammering. Yes, every now and then Pavan ji and Suhel we had, and even Rashid bhai, we had an argument on something or the else कि नहीं इस state का ऐसा नहीं वैसा नहीं है. But honestly, where we left our last pre-poll, the story has proceeded in that direction. In last pre-poll, Rashid bhai did mention that in the eastern seaboard side, BJP is making big headway over there. But what extent, we were not very clear because campaign and candidates were not yet announced. But now we know for sure that at least in the Lok Sabha for Odisha, BJP is sweeping Odisha, no doubt about that. They did a brilliant job of going ahead with TDP and converted that into a lock, stock and barrel kind of a pumping of 25 seats over there. Then the real battleground I have been mentioning has been Bengal all along. Mamata Banerjee fought well. She is still fighting well. I think she did well. But where it really hurt, the things started going against her was the recruitment scam kind of thing, where the Bhadralok, which was rock solid behind her, I think there the dent came in because of the Bhadralok, because of the recruitment scam. So West Bengal is a big turnaround. So that eastern seaboard thing we did mention to you all along.
No, you're right.
We also mentioned to you that in the pre-poll tracker, Priya, that the BJP's vote share is increasing big time in South, but they may or may not convert into seat share as far as Kerala and Tamil Nadu is concerned. These two states. So Kerala, they are actually breached 20% mark now officially, and very likely to turn 2 seats. Very likely, Thrissur and Trivandrum, both seats, they are pretty much. That's pretty much in striking distance because it's a very close corner 3-way fight. So where left is also, it's not in the winning kind of thing, but they are polling somewhere around 20. So which way they are cutting in, that is to be seen. But as far as the data is concerned, BJP is likely to open the account on the 2 seats in Kerala. In our account, they are still not likely to open the account in Tamil Nadu, maybe one. Not much. I don't see that kind of thing because the ladai in Tamil Nadu was not between DMK and the BJP. Suhel, we discussed the other day that the ladai is between BJP and ADMK. So both in our data are cutting at 20% piece. So BJP has kind of ensured that we are at par with you in my alliance. BJP means NDA, whatever the alliance they are doing and leading right now. They are at par with AIADMK. So the real fight for Tamil Nadu will start now. I think AIADMK will find a big trouble now that waiting for them.
And what about Karnataka? Are you surprised that the BJP has held its own?
No.
We all thought that would be the big gain for Congress.
Not at all. Pavanji, you remember even during the Karnataka Assembly election, we had mentioned that in the same data where we are projecting that Congress is sweeping Karnataka, we said that the Lok Sabha voting intent is completely reverse. And add on to that BJP did a smart job of adding in JDS because 10% anti-Congress Vokaliga vote that, smoothly merged in with the BJP traffic. And in all our estimate, we had maintained all along that in Lok Sabha, BJP is likely to cross, NDA will likely to cross 50% in Karnataka. And once you have a 50% plus vote share, then the aberrations don't really matter that much. And I am glad that in the three polls and three colleagues whom I respect in other way, when I confirmed with them yesterday, all of them confirmed that BJP NDA is crossing 50% vote share mark in their numbers. So I am only more interested as a data scientist into the vote share. I have always maintained that along. So if the vote share is going in that direction, 50% plus, I think Karnataka is safe for BJP.
Okay, I know you have to leave. So one quick more question in the area where even I think Pavan has been warning us about is Bihar. I mean, how has Nitish Kumar held his own? Is he piggybacking on the BJP? What is happening?
No, Nitish has not held on his own. I'm sorry. What has happened is that Prime Minister Modi's popularity has pulled out all the Nitish candidates from the lowest possible ebb to the winning category. So Nitish has been only useful in one way, that the Kurmi query, whatever 4-5% mathematically was important, that has been delivered, but that would have been delivered wherever Nitish goes. But as far as Nitish as a brand equity, as a leadership is concerned, I think that is a thing of the past. He is going to face a really tough battle. BJP will face a tough battle because I am, putting my neck out on this. Tejasvi is going to create a lot of trouble for them. Tejasvi is the state leadership for the future. And you know what? The second leadership, which I can project you right now, and Pawanji can probably tell me more about it. I genuinely believe, regardless of whatever the results are in Bihar right now, I think Chirag has a great potential. Because BJP has a huge vacuum of leadership, a popular leadership out there. At some points of time, I somehow sense Chirag will become the second Himanta Biswa Sarma of the BJP. That's what my sense is. He is young, very popular, Dalit with the BJP actually doesn't have a Dalit pan-India face or Dalit leadership face. BJP doesn't have it. Let's face it. So it would be a great acquisition for BJP in some time to come.
So what are your figures for Congress and BJP alone, not the alliances? And
I think between the Congress and BJP, the exact numbers, just let me go through, because I've been doing so much of number crunching since yesterday that, in that way. So I just want to be very sure. Congress is at 74 and BJP at 315, plus minus 10 seats. You can take a range of that. So yeah, I mean, Congress will get finally the leader of opposition, that formal thing. Hopefully, yes, yeah. अब ये रशीद भाई बताए कि बैठेंगे उसमें कौन उस कुर्सी पे.
Well, hopefully let's see how many MPs and who wins that seat. But Pawan, before I go to Rashid, I want to react to what Yashwant said, especially about Bihar, because you told me the same thing. Nitish is piggybacking on the BJP, which he's also corroborating.
No, I don't disagree with Yashwant when he says that at this moment, the popularity of Mr. Narendra Modi in Bihar is the only factor for the winning of the BJP. Nitish Kumar was given 16 seats, and many thought, including myself perhaps, that was too many. But it was psychologically to break the Mahagathbandhan. And once again, he's right. Although the Kurmi Koiri vote is divided in Bihar, some portion of it could come to the BJP, although my own belief is that it was already with the BJP. It's not because of Nitish Kumar. But the candidates of the JDU, irrespective of Nitish Kumar, who had the backing of the BJP, were able to do much better. Now, herein lies the story. Why has a person whom he calls the man of the future, Tejasvi Yadav, for all the number of rallies he did with a bad back, the MY factor, has been marginalized in this election, more or less. If the BJP, as I had predicted, even without the alliance with the JDU, was getting around 32, 34. If it's 32 for the NDA, the rest of them with the Mahagathbandhan of a rainbow list of parties get 6, 7, 4 seats, 5, 6, 6, 7. I mean, it is a marginalization. There's a lesson here. The lesson is that Bihar is exceptionally tired with the politics of the Nitish Lalu era. 30 years, and Bihar is exactly where it is 30 years ago. At this
Okay.
moment, Mr. Narendra Modi's popularity and the absence of a credible alternative has led the BJP forward in Bihar, but there will be challenges in the future. I'm just
Okay.
talking, I have some comments on the overall picture, but I can come to it later.
Yeah, I'll come. I just wanted Suhel and Rashid quickly before Yashwant ji goes, so at least we can hear their comments also. Suhel, your reaction to the overall figures?
See, on your program in those one-on-one roundtables or whatever they're called, if you remember, I said there is no question that Modi's coming back, but
Right.
no one had imagined that this would be the decimation of the opposition. A, B. In all my thinking, I believed that the election had turned in the last 4 to 5 weeks, both perceptually as well as in reality terms. But obviously, I was wrong. I genuinely believe that phases 1 and 2 did not go that well for the BJP, and that impact resulted in the outpourings and the statements and the utterances that people started making out of either desperation or out of clinging on to the last straws, as it were. So, this is quite clearly, to my mind, not a mandate for Narendra Modi. This is a mandate for continuity. This is a mandate against anarchy. This is a mandate against the ragtag alliances of coalition politics where each person would be self-serving and selfish. So I'm going to go out and make one more statement, which may be controversial. This is not Narendra Modi's victory. It's a victory for the first time where the common man has said that, look, I trust him more than I trust these chaps. A, B, I have my problems. There is joblessness, there is unemployment, there is growth issue, there is inflation. But this man will address it more than these people will. I have never seen that level of trust happen in a third term. I have never seen that level of trust happen in an incumbent. And I haven't seen that level of trust happen in one individual. So it is Narendra Modi's election, but the victory is every common man's, because they, Priya, intrinsically, and I've said this in my Brand Modi speech, intrinsically, Modi has become to represent the aspirations and the ability to achieve dreams of the common man. Everyone says, यार अगर मोदी कर सकता है तो मैं भी कर सकता हूँ. So मोदी है मुमकिन है is no longer for Modi. मोदी है तो मेरे लिए मुमकिन है has become the slogan subconsciously, and that's what I believe has been the strategic movement forward.
Okay, Rashid, your quick take on especially the opposition, if you can answer Yashwant's question as to who's going to now be heading the Congress really.
So, Priya, I think you see, while the exit poll surveys get this direction right, I still have some issue with numbers. I think it will be far less for NDA, because other states like Maharashtra, Karnataka, to some extent, Bihar, even Bengal continue to, I mean, they have a potential to surprise on June 4th. Having said that, there is nothing seems to be, if this happens, if what Mr. Yashwant Deshmukh and other pollsters have conveyed through exit poll, then that means whatever the opposition does, it is, insufficient, inadequate, and rather futile. You look at Karnataka, you have very, powerful two caste leaders in TK Shivkumar and Siddharamaiah. You have a good governance, model of good governance, lot of welfareism, everything, and a lot of resources, Priya. Every, candidate in Karnataka had a lot of money, a lot of resources to fight. And if, in spite of all this, if you're not getting it right, then obviously there is something, very little opposition can do. Ditto about Bengal, where Mamata fought like a fighter, like tigress. She had a lot of bench strength, a lot of, I would say, ground level arithmetic she had. In spite of that, if she's not able to make a difference, or in Haryana, where sort of tide turned so much that even the BJP had to import a lot of Congress leaders. But this is all, of course, a solid state of opposition. But I think Congress at 75 will stabilize as a political party, as an opposition leader. Opposition, principal opposition party. So they lived they live to fight another day as long as the number is
I'm
75.
going to take a quick break, but it does look as if there are two different elections of different benchmarks. For the BJP, the bench 100 or even as low as 75, it seems to be. So we're going to take a look at the larger picture in terms of the leadership of Narendra Modi, Rahul Gandhi, and the opposition after a quick break. Hello and welcome back to the Roundtable. We're here discussing, well, the exit polls and also, the larger picture, because this seems to be the trend. The numbers may vary, but I don't think anybody's going to doubt that the Prime Minister and the BJP are going to come back with a thumping win. And the state of the opposition. So, actually, how has the opposition done? And apart from the Congress, is there any, you said you see hope in Tejasvi, but any other opposition leader that has, is there for the long term, or has, should we put the blame only on the Congress?
No, I'm not saying that we blame only the Congress. I mean, there are Congress regional leaders who have picked up a good fight. I mean, Karnataka was a big one-way traffic for the Modi. It is nothing that DK or for that matter, Siddaramaiah could do. They did what they had to do with the assembly election. They won the election. Good enough. Your Himachal Congress did a good job. They won the election. But as far as Modi is concerned, if Himachal vote share BJP is touching 60%, I mean, come on. I mean, these kind of vote shares are insane in kind of popularity or whichever way you look at it. And Rashid Bhai, I was hearing very carefully when you said that there are states, and actually we have pointed out, we have been always pointing on those states, and the exit poll also we have pointed out. Haryana BJP is in complete mess. We have pointed that out. In fact, BJP's vote share is likely to be less than Congress. Probably a big one in that way. We said Maharashtra, we have been for 1.5 years screaming on the top of our voice, not going the BJP way, and it's not good. In our data, we have said it. So basically, if you look at it, wherever the BJP or the NDA game was wrong, we have said it is wrong. But the BJP's gains or BJP's overarching performance is so much that even those wrongs have been kind of concealed, And one thing which I want to tell Priya is that in the last 2 months, while I was sitting at the data and I was talking to many friends and I was unable to say the data-driven thing to them. But the fact is, majority of our friends in media were, because it was a wavelength selection of sorts in that way. I mean, there was no halla gulla in that way. People did over-analysis of the micro things. Okay. And when they went over-analyzing the micro thing, there were aberration seats in all states. Like there were 5 seats in Rajasthan which were at play because of the aberration. Aberration because BJP gave wrong candidates and there was an internal turf war. There were 3 seats in Madhya Pradesh. There were 3 seats in Gujarat. There were about 25 seats in Uttar Pradesh because of the wrong selection of candidates. Now, when you are looking at these aberrations, problem with the majority of my friends were that they were generalizing those aberrations. वो 5 सीट राजस्थान का ऐसा लग रहा था कि राजस्थान की बीजेपी 25 सीट चली गई. While the fact was that, BJP was almost more than 15 points ahead of Congress in the pre-poll trackers. So, while on the one side, they were calculating all the aberrations कि बीजेपी की ये देखो 30 सीट कम हो रही है, इसलिए बीजेपी मेजॉरिटी के बाहर जा रही है. अरे बाबा 30 सीट कम हो रही है ये तो कैलकुलेट किया, वो जो 30 सीट बढ़ रही है वो कौन कैलकुलेट करेगा? It works both ways, right? So वो चीज नहीं हो रही थी. And one last thing which I want to say, I know pollsters, some of them get all the flack, but we have changed our gear for one thing. हम 5 साल में अब एक बार नहीं आ रहे हैं. 5 years back we started the daily tracker and we are sticking to it. We are investing in it. कि यार ये रोज का मॉनिटर करो ना, बीपी कितना है, रोज का ब्लड सैंपल दो ना, ग्लूकोज कितना है. 5 साल में एक बार आके अरे तूफान हो गया, ऐसा रिसर्च का काम नहीं होता. At least we do not believe in it. So I am happy to share what we have been reporting 365 days all along with the track going up and down. Suhel, I hope someday, like in the West, we have enough media people and enough philanthropy here to support Suhel that these regular research activity are supported properly. I am sorry to say Yeah.
But it happens in the FMCG sector. We have monthly tracking.
But,
I don't know
but
why it doesn't happen in
unfortunately,
the political field.
not in the socio-economic political sector, Suhel, because again, only one thing that we have been discussing, that Modi has been pulling out all his unpopular candidate. Why unpopular? Because they did not do any work. यार 5वीं का बच्चा भी हर 3 महीने में एक रिपोर्ट कार्ड लेके घर आता है. हमारे इलेक्टेड रिप्रेजेंटेटिव का कोई रिपोर्ट कार्ड ही नहीं होता. How is that
सही
possible?
है.
Why are you not able to nail them down कि तुम्हारा काम
No, but
खराब
that
चल
would
रहा
be
है?
very unfair on Rahul Gandhi because, you know, he's not had a report card which has been read for the last 4 terms. So I think it's very unfair on Rahul Gandhi to expect him to give a report card. A report card नहीं देता, सिर्फ रंग देता है.
सर अब जिसका भी मिले रिपोर्ट कार्ड बनना चाहिए. I mean, I think
देखिए
more the data the
रशीद भी
better.
अब हंस रहा है.
Rashid bhai will give that report card.
I can see Suhel is, without mentioning Rahul, the conversation
yeah,
would not have been complete.
Yeah, can I respond? See, it's a very frequent situation. Rahul Gandhi was Congress president between 2017 to 19. He owned the responsibility of the poll debacle and resigned. And then Mallikarjun Kharge, a Dalit, a person with with lot of sort of, I would say, decades of experience in public life, became Congress president, and yet we blame Rahul Gandhi for 2024 likely debacle. This is so whatever Rahul Gandhi does or doesn't do, the kind of the fault is with him. Nobody's talking about a failure of Mallikarjun
I'll
Kharge,
tell you why.
again a
I want to
Dalit
take this
with
on.
loads of
Because
Can I come in also?
I want to take this on.
Yes,
Rashid, I'll tell you why.
I have to leave also.
Congress party had a government where the lady was in power but not in office, and the man was in office but not in power. You people have you are the best party in the world to have dual, not nationality, dual responsibility, but where the accountability is only with one of those duo. That's the reason.
Okay.
No,
Okay, quickly, Pavan,
voters?
let me get Pavan in.
Yeah.
On the larger picture, I didn't get your quote on, your comments on, because you've been also predicting this, that the Congress opposition should not be so sanguine. The BJP is coming back with this kind of numbers, I remember. Pavan?
Very, very broadly, let me say, this is not a victory like 2014, which was on hope. This is not a victory for the BJP in 2019, which was for continuity. This vote for the BJP, apart from some positives, is a default vote. When I say default vote, I mean that the biggest question before the ordinary voter who otherwise had very important and deep-seated legitimate grievances was कि इसको नहीं तो किसको. Now that is a very important factor which went in Mr. Modi's favor. What else went in Mr. Modi's favor? Since I don't need to talk of the BJP, it doesn't exist now. The BJP's favor, Modi's favor was a degree of targeted success in welfareism. Rations and their deliverables to 80 crore people had a deep impact, especially on Mahila voters. So that was one factor for Mr. Modi. Thirdly, I want to say that it is less a victory for Mr. Modi and more a defeat for the opposition. India has rarely had a more electorally ineffectual opposition, for which I am sorry to say, Rashid Bhai, I know you're not from the Congress must take most of the blame. It's the largest opposition party. You have Congress being de facto run by a leader for whom I otherwise respect, he's a friend also, who has failed consistently and who has perhaps the right ideas but no structure on the ground to implement them. Except in fantasy, as I told you once, you can't build the first floor of a house without a foundation. The Congress party has become a shell of what it was. The opposition is scattered, and the opposition started the attempt to take on Prime Minister Modi as late as June 2003. And this is against the electoral machine of the BJP. So it's a defeat of the opposition. And let me finally add, this new term will not be like 2014. Unlikely it will be like 2019, but I never prejudge Prime Minister Modi. This term, in spite of the victory, will see public unrest on a variety of issues. Aid, because Mr. Modi, during the campaign, in my view, has somewhat besmirched his own desire to be seen as a statesman, the kind of comments made. Secondly, I think there are four factors on which there will be public unrest. One is rural distress, the second is unemployment, the third is price rise, and the fourth is inequality. So it's not he has won this time, and more than his winning, the opposition has won. And lastly, let us not forget that his unchallenged supremacy also creates problems
Within
within
the
the
BJP.
BJP RSS. Let us see how that also evolves in the future.
Okay, Rashid and then Suhel, the last word. I agree with Pavan. I think within the BJP also they were perhaps hoping for a weaker Modi because, but now I think it's going to be his mandate all through. The problem of Rahul Gandhi, why shouldn't Rahul Gandhi take the blame? I agree with Suhel. Whether he's president or not, he is calling the shots.
Yeah, so here, Priya, you are talking about the political leadership, ownership of political leadership that is with Rahul Gandhi. But again, I would say if what exit polls have said come true on June 4th, we must also look at the failure of non-Congress. I know it is very fashionable and it's very convenient to blame Congress for everything. Here was an incumbent government in Andhra. Jagan Mohan Reddy, a very powerful regional satrap. If he fails and collapses and giving 25 Lok Sabha seats in a platter to the BJP alliance, then we shift
His
to
rise was also due to Congress, sir.
then we shift. Please let me complete. Then we have Biju Janata Dal. Again, a total collapse, handing over 2021 Lok Sabha seats in a platter. Then we have Mamta in Bengal, handing over 27, 30 seats. Imagine, Priya, if there was even even distribution of these seats, the story would have been very different. So all I'm saying is the Congress is to be blamed. There is no Rahul Gandhi. You can go on blaming and dubbing him a failure or whatever, not having a report card. But it is also utter failure of that, the promise that Yashwant Deshmukh was saying about Tejasvi Yadav, Akhilesh Yadav, and rest. So it is, and Arvind Kejriwal in Delhi. All this, they all have state governments. And in spite of that, if they are failing and faltering, then why blame the Congress? Why single out the Congress?
Good point. It is the collapse of the opposition, and if you look at the opposition barometer, Suhel, Congress has actually improved while the others haven't.
I think Rahul Gandhi has been a huge success. He's a brilliant politician. He is more an NGO activist, so please do not expect him to win elections. His destiny is to guide India through its various abyss modes, and that's how we should be. Look, let me tell you here, on a serious note, Rahul Gandhi will never be censured. Rahul Gandhi will never be blamed. You saw how Rasheed Kidwai has already, see, these are the advisors that the Congress relies on. How
But he's not an advisor, he's...
No, but he has put the spin. Now all those unintelligent people will listen to this intelligent man. Now they will say, wait, Rahul Gandhi thodi hara hai. वो तो तेजस्वी यादव हारा है और हारे है. So here's the thing. Rahul Gandhi is like the pressure cooker, Teflon coated, nothing will happen. But what will definitely happen is you will decimate a great political party, a necessity in any democracy. That is what the Congress should introspect. It's not about blaming Rahul or Kharge. They should introspect as to why they're getting it wrong repeatedly. Pavan alluded to it. This is not a moment for individual blame. It is a moment for collective responsibility. Sadly, that is missing in the Congress always. There's individual credit, but never collective responsibility.
Correct. On that note, thank you all for this conversation. Unless, Pavan, you want to come in on the future of the Congress, because we can always, take this.
No. One line only. The Congress had a chance to revamp itself from the grassroots upwards. I'm aware of it. I was part of it. It did not allow it to happen. If the Congress remains on the trajectory on which it is, with Rahul Gandhi as the leader, without drastic structural foundational change, Congress is heading towards decimation.
Which is not a good note. We need a good opposition also, at the end of the day. Hopefully.
Exactly.
And with the Gandhis in place, I don't know how much, but the problem is, Suhel, we've seen without the Gandhis also the Congress decimates totally.
But my friend,
So,
if we
what do you
need
do?
Fevicol, go to the market. You cannot make the Gandhis into a glue. And if that is the problem, then the glue itself is faulty. Because the Congress has also seen the largest amount of defections pre-election. So someone has to ask, कि भाई
I have
हो
to
क्या
end
रहा
on
है?
a couplet.
हाँ?
I'll have to end on a couplet. as
चलो भाई,
always.
ये हमारे
चलिए,
इकबाल बैठे हुए हैं, आओ
Yeah.
भाई आओ.
क्यों
Like,
नहीं?
for the opposition, I want to say, so John Alia, a great poet, Urdu poet, who has said, चाहो तो एक और नींद सोलो, काफिला कब का कूच कर गया है.
Correct. Or to say the horses have bolted the stables.
Thank you, Sohail, for that. Thank you so much, both of you, for this conversation. And I think this has been one of the most comprehensive debates. I'm going to come back and ask you the way forward once the actual results are in. But for now, thank you so much.